Welcome to the Rink Report, which is being brought to you by Ohio Credit Union. I'm Bob McElligott, along with Jody Shelley, and tonight, as the Blue Jackets take on the Nashville Predators, it is First Responders Night, brought to you by Jets Pizza. Jody, I don't think that you can downplay in any way, shape, or form how important the first responders are to our communities, especially over the course of the past year.
Yeah, you know what? It cannot be overstated, Bob, how valuable they are in our community every day. And something that it's so great to see the National Hockey League embrace the first responders when they do have the first star of the month or the first star of the week. Right there, the stars, the real stars of the past year and more have been those first responders all over the world. So the ones we have locally here, we're going to take a night and honor them and say thank you for the thankless work you've done behind the scenes. It's been remarkable.
And all of those in the building deserve a big round of applause tonight, just for all of the work that they have done for all of us, not just through the last years we were talking about, but each and every day of all of our lives. Well, Jody, to get to the hockey part of it, the Blue Jackets are now back at home. They have 4 games left in the schedule, and they're still trying to prove things, and they also have a chance to play the role of spoiler. I'll talk about that more in a minute, but let's go back to Saturday night in Carolina. The Blue Jackets lose to the Hurricanes 2-1. That's the bad news. The good news is I thought there was a lot of Blue Jackets hockey that showed up in that game. As tough as they were to play against, the defense that they played, they looked like the identity was there.
Yeah, there was definitely some good moments and some good hockey. I mean, really, Carolina spent most of their game trying to find cross-seam passes in front of Elvis Merzlikins, but the defenders and the Blue Jackets forwards all really collapsed. So the game got harder down in front of the Blue Jackets net, right in the blue paint. And they really looked stout and stiff down there. And that's exactly how they want to play. The more open seams you have, the more opportunity teams have to pick you apart. And there's a lot of skill in the National Hockey League. And you know what? One of the best forechecking teams in the league was Carolina, but the Columbus Blue Jackets did their own job on the Carolina Hurricanes. They gave themselves a chance to win, and that's what they're looking to do there again tonight.
You've talked before about teams that have a lot of skill. They do a lot of those cross-ice passes, and they try to catch you out of position. And the Blue Jackets have been very good over the years at defending that. Do you feel as though Carolina thought maybe you look at the roster of this team right now, maybe we can get away with a little bit of that, and then found out that they couldn't?
I would say no question. I think that there is a let up when you play a team like Columbus, who had 1 win coming into the last 10 games for this team and their record. You know, there's a lot of pieces that are gone. There's a lot of pieces that are injured. But you know what? When you have a team mentality and you play on a team game, it really goes to show you those details. If you take care of them and show the guys on the ice, because you've got a lot of new players here. Letton is a new player playing this system. He's a defenseman. All 6 defensemen played well, I thought, and the forwards really helped out. But it's a key, and it's really one of those things that, yeah, if a team is overlook the Blue Jackets and they play that style of defense, watch them get frustrated. And that should be the game plan again here tonight. For the Blue Jackets, don't change anything except score goals on the power play and put some pucks in. Give yourself a little breathing room and give the goalie, Elvis Merzlikins, a little chance. If he does make a mistake, it's not such a big deal.
Patrik Laine did not play in the game on Saturday. He was under the weather. He is coming back into the lineup tonight. I'm not knocking Patrik Laine here, but I do have to ask you, when you take a player with that kind of skill out of the lineup, and I know he has struggled to score, don't get me wrong, but when you have a player out of the lineup like that, does that force everybody else to just kind of muck it up and grind? Because there's not that guy that you could throw the puck to and say, let's hope he fixes everything.
Right, and that's a good point. I mean, sometimes when you play with a star, you sit back a little bit and wait for him to take over, and you hope for him to take over, and you make plays to try to get him going. He's a guy that's in between a lot of things right now. And not that Patrik Laine can't play the defensive game whatsoever, but sometimes you cheat the offense to try to get a guy like that going when you're on the ice with him. So there's little details, and it could be 1 foot or 3 feet either way out of position that changes the look of your defensive zone. So yeah, if you have a star who's supposed to score and you want to get going, sometimes you defer to him in some instances, and that takes away from that very structured game. So he's back in tonight. We'll see how that goes.
Let's talk about the Nashville Predators, who are trying to get into the playoffs, but quite frankly, they are in the playoffs right now. because they come into this game holding on to the final playoff spot in the Central Division, and they are just 3 points ahead of the Dallas Stars. The Dallas Stars have one game in hand on the Nashville Predators. Now, Nashville and Dallas just got together. It doesn't get any easier for this team. And for the Blue Jackets, I mentioned earlier, they can play the role of spoiler. It's not a fun role because it means you're not going anywhere when the end of the week comes. However, this is a Nashville team that dealt the Blue Jackets some big blows early in the season, and they've got a chance to get even right now.
And that's got to be your motivation. Nashville, to me, that big point they picked up last game against Dallas, it was an overtime win. They got the win and went extra time. That extra point now puts them 3 ahead of Dallas. And to me, that's major. So now I think Nashville needs 1 win out of the next 4 games. I know Dallas has 5 games, but they seem to have a tougher schedule. So Nashville's coming here. Now, think about this, though, Bob. That last game for the Predators in Dallas, that was a high emotional game. That was a 4-point swing if it would have been a win or a loss either way. Nashville feels good about it. I expect the Blue Jackets to take advantage in the start of this one because there's always a letdown after an emotional game, So they got the win. If the Blue Jackets want to play spoiler, they need to do it. They need to have a great start here tonight against the Nashville team who's feeling pretty good about themselves. They're good. They're flying high. They're peaking at the right time, but they do need one more win. And it looks better when you have, I think, at least one more win. I know Dallas, anything could happen, but doing the math, they need one more. And if Nashville gets under a little pressure and loses this game, look out. This could be a wild finish between these two teams.
This is one of the things about this weird COVID schedule that we're playing right now is because sometimes at the end of the year, you might not be playing those games head to head with the teams you're trying to get in with. Maybe you'd be playing a West Coast team and it's not even a 4-point game by any stretch of the imagination. Really, when you look around the league and, this division, it really stands out. But all of these games mean something, and everything is going right down the stretch here.
Everything. And it's wild because you know what? Dallas had all those games in hand. They've had a condensed schedule, and now they've got a tough schedule to end the season in a short period of time. I know the season's going to go an extra probably 10 days from now. We'll go past the Blue Jackets ending on Saturday. But you know what? They've done a nice job of getting it done. But you feel for you feel for Dallas because injuries have mounted up a little bit for this team. They're missing some key pieces. So it's great to see all the games matter. And you're right. When you only play the same teams over and over, the Blue Jackets pay close attention. They understand what's at stake, and it's very visible here. So they'd like to put a kink in Nashville's plans here tonight.
All right, we're about to see what happens. That'll do it for the Rink Report. It's been brought to you by Tel Ohio Credit Union. For Jody Shelley, I'm Bob McElligott. Enjoy the game.